Good evening, everybody. I think that is literally the first time I've hit that gavel as mayor. So on the last night, I will do that. Good evening, everybody. Welcome to Monday, December 9th, City Council meeting. I'd like to call to order and ask our city clerk to do a roll call, please.
Councilmember Wilkinson. Present. Councilmember Cooper.
Here.
Mayor Mark.
Here.
Councilmember Chemnitzer.
Here.
Councilmember Lynch.
Here.
Thank you very much. I'll now ask for city council reports. I believe Councilmember Chemnitzer has one.
Yes, I have actually one last report. Last week, I attended the BCDC meeting. That's the Bay Area Development Conservation Development Commission. And they had a 5-hour hearing to approve a very important document. It's called RSAP, the Regional Shoreline Adaptation Plan. And the reason I particularly want to report this out to council is that this is the document that provides BCDC's guidance for our compliance with Senate Bill 272. It's very important that council and staff, our city manager and our public works director and our planner read this document because the idea is that individual cities have to now report to the state what our strategies for adapting to sea level rise are now in the future. So that we can be as efficient as possible in this unfunded mandate, we need to know the guidelines that BCDC has provided. It's quite extensive. There's a checklist of over 90 items, and I will, even though I will not be on council anymore, I'm happy to discuss this with whoever takes over so that we can respond in as economical and efficient way as possible.
Thank you. If I could ask, which of the committee assignments would be responsible for that, if any?
So I was on the Bay Wave Executive Committee, which is in the middle of a transition to a new county or agency, which will be, they haven't actually decided exactly what it will be, but it will be involved in the governance around sea level rise and taking over a lot of the responsibilities that we looked at on the Bay Wave Executive Committee. So the council member who is in that position will be assisting staff. Other aspects of it, however, involve the sustainability efforts pursuant to our climate adaptation plan. So it's a little bit of an overlap. And as I say, I'm happy to help out anyway. But the sea level rise council member will take over.
Thank you. Do we have any other city council reports?
I do. I attended my library board meeting, and the director, Crystal Duran, asked to please come to one of our city council meetings to discuss what's going on with the library in the next couple of months. So I'd like to schedule that. And I wanted to give a big thank you to the Hackman Construction Company for jumping in to helping to repair 2 of the gates at our playground. Unfortunately, one was really broken and the other one turned out to also be in need of repair. And were really, they came along quickly and did it without a lot of to do. And it's, as of today, completed. I tested it. So that was great. That's all for me.
Wonderful. Thank you.
Just very briefly, I had chaired the RBRA for a few years, or served on it and chaired it this last year, and collected a number of materials that are current public documents that present, I think, the status of the agency at this time, and offered to Vice Mayor Cooper to work with whoever the new council member is will be assigned to that, to enable that transition and to introduce them to the executive director and staff.
Thank you. I will now ask for public comment on our city council reports. Should there be any? Seeing none in the room.
Mayor Mark, there are no hands raised.
Thank you. Now move on to our city manager report. City Manager Zednik.
Yes, thank you, Mayor Mark. I have a few updates that may be of interest. First, our Public Works Director asked me to comment on an upcoming public work project on Lower Beach Road opposite from the Yacht Club. The retaining wall is scheduled to be removed and replaced. The current wall is in poor condition and will be replaced with a wooden soldier pile retaining wall. The city contractor is starting work soon, actually tomorrow, demoing the existing wall with an aim at installing a replacement wall before Christmas, wrapped up and done. The new wall will have steel I-beams to replace the wooden posts, and the outcome will be a more solid structure with a longer lifespan. Although this section of roadway was not identified by the fire department as a choke point, Tony has asked the contractor to use the opportunity to widen the road at least by a few inches as part of the contract, or as much as possible. Beach Road will remain open for a majority of the work, but some closures will be necessary. Road closure notifications will be posted on the signs on Beach Road, as well as the city's website. So thank you, Tony, and your team for organizing the repair. Moving on, the fees that the city collects partially fund projects like new retaining walls. You may recall that the City Hall undertook a process of updating its master schedule of fees and has hired a consultant to lead that study. I'm pleased to report that work is progressing on schedule. They have met with one-on-one with department heads and are currently conducting a cost service analysis to further examine any recommended fee adjustments. The plan is to wrap up with the analysis in early 2025 with an early presentation of their findings that will help inform the 25-26 fiscal year budget process. So again, staff are looking forward to bringing this item to you in the near future. Regarding Mallard Point, staff recently heard from the developer that the applications for demolition and infrastructure permits will be submitted sometime this week or next week, which will include the bulkhead replacement and installation. Prior to the city issuing the building permit for demolition, all conditions will need to be satisfied, including a work plan for addressing the bulkhead, landscaping, lighting, and relocation plan for the below market rate tenants, excuse me. Staff is geared up for the submittals and has peer review contracts in place to assist with the processing. We will, of course, plan to update the website and notify the community once the permit applications are submitted. And then finally, I want you and residents to know that in response to community feedback, the city extended its hours at City Hall. City Hall is now open from 8 a.m. to 4 p.m. Monday through Thursday, which matches the pre-COVID schedule. This is just a minor extension of the afternoon hours from 3 p.m. to 4 p.m. So far, there hasn't been a lot of traffic during that last hour, but we are expecting this to perhaps pick up a bit as contractors and residents get the word out. That's all I have for now. I'm happy to take questions.
Thank you very much. Robert, just one quick question for me before I turn it over to the council. In relation to the Mallard Point submissions that are coming forward, as you get those and as you begin the processing of those, can you report back in your next city manager report detailed specifics on the peer review, how that's happening, in what form, and in specifically who's doing that?
Yes.
Thank you. Any questions for our city manager? No, thank you. I'll open it up for public comment. Seeing none, Madam Clerk. Thank you so much. I'll close that item. Moving on to item 3C, presentation by Peyton Stein, Citizen of the Year, and the Citizen of the Year Committee on nominations for the 2024 Citizen of the Year and the Citizen Emeritus. Hey, Petey.
Is it working now? Good. Well, we would like to present our nominations to you from the Citizens of the Year Committee for next year, for this year, for Citizen of the Year 2024 and Emeritus. Fortunately, we have candidates who have in combination spent over 100 years in volunteer work. So we're pretty excited that we're honoring these community treasures. Our Citizen of the Year is actually a couple, Marcia and Michael Lasky, and they've each dedicated over 40 years of service to the Belvedere community. Please don't do any additions to my number. The 2024 Emeritus Award is going to Marcia Felton, who has been a tireless behind-the-scenes volunteer for the Belvedere Community Foundation since its inception in 1990. So we really were unanimous on all this and honoring these two people, and we hope that you'll accept our nominations. Thank you.
Thank you very much. To clarify, we will be discussing this in item 8B. So I'll just open it to public comment now and then move on with the agenda, correct?
We can take it now. That's okay. Yes.
So I'll take public comment on this item.
I think it's wonderful.
Thank you. And we'll also have opportunity for public comment during the discussion as well. Any further comment online at this point? Thank you. So I'll close that item. Moving on, I am going to swap. I'm going to have some mayoral privilege here and swap item 3E and 3D. I'd like to address the appreciation for outgoing council members first. I think their contributions are far more significant than mine. So let's move to 3E first. Appreciation for outgoing council members. And if I'm not correct, we will have a couple comments by city council members, and then we have an open forum and some appreciation by other members of the public community. So if I could start, I would like to read a note to council member Nancy Kemniser. Nancy was elected to the Belvedere City Council on June 7th, 2016, and re-elected on November 3rd, 2020, serving the city as a council member for over 8 years, including 2 terms as mayor. Before she was council member, Nancy was a Belvedere Planning Commissioner appointed in January of 2006 and served for 10 years through June 2015. She was elected chair of the Planning Commission in June of 2014. Nancy has been the driving force in making Belvedere an AARP age-friendly designated city, which was certified in March of 2021. Nancy was among the first to recognize Belvedere's vulnerabilities to sea level rise. She organized a symposium at the China Cabin featuring a Dutch special envoy for international water affairs from the Kingdom of the Netherlands. Nancy advocated for building resilient communities and tireless effort to promote Belvedere has been instrumental in advancing the city's grant application to FEMA. Nancy was mayor during the COVID-19 pandemic, and her leadership and compassion helped the city stay safe in mind and body during that state of emergency. Nancy was the lead in developing the 2030 Climate Action Plan, assembling a panel of citizen experts to weigh in on how we can best meet these goals. She helped develop our new onboarding program for elected officials and appointed volunteers. Nancy's approach to governance is thoughtful, knowledgeable, and empathetic, ensuring that council policies reflect the needs and the aspirations of our community. Nancy, your ability to analyze complex issues, listen to the different perspectives, and craft balanced, practical solutions has earned you the admiration and respect of everyone in this room. Thank you very much. While I have the mic, I'm going to continue on and make a few comments about Councilmember Jim Lynch. Jim was elected to the Belvedere City Council on November 3rd, 2020, serving the city as a council member for 4 years, including as mayor in 2023. Before he was a council member, Jim was a Belvedere Planning Commissioner and chair of the Planning Commission. He was appointed in June of 2014 and served for 6 years through November of 2020. Jim most recently chaired the Richardson Bay Regional Authority Board supporting a sharp reduction in hazardous anchor out vehicles. As a retired attorney, Jim has been instrumental in recruiting, selecting, and managing our city's legal counsel. Along with legal counsel and city administration, Jim has successfully navigated the city through various legal challenges and with his rational and practical perspective. Jim has served on various subcommittees and task force, including the city's Construction Impact Committee, aimed at reducing the negative influences of construction work on the community. He has also served as liaison to the Traffic Safety and Circulation Committee and the Parks, Open Spaces, and Lanes Committee. Jim chaired the committee to protect Belvedere's seawalls, levees, and utilities, addressing the threat of potential earthquakes and flooding. Jim also helped develop our new onboarding program for elected officials and appointed volunteers. Jim has brought a well-reasoned, caring, and thoughtful approach to his work on the City Council. Jim has steadfastly committed to collaboration and has always worked to ensure all voices are heard and all perspectives are considered. Jim, your impact will continue to resonate for years to come on this council. Thank you very much. I'd now like to open up further comments from our City Council on behalf of our departing council members, Jim Lynch and Nancy Kemminster.
Well, I'm one of the newest members of the City Council, so I haven't had the opportunity to work with them as long as I wish I could. But Jim was mayor when I was elected, and I relied on him for everything. He was very patient with me and all my many, many questions. He helped me immeasurably in understanding my role as a City Council member, my responsibilities, and my duties. And Jim, thank you very much for all that you did in supporting me as a City Council member. I really appreciated it. And of course, I appreciated you as a City Council member as well. And Nancy was one of my biggest supporters in running for City Council. She has continued to support me, keep me in line within the legal confines, and you can read that as the Brown Act. She remains a devoted teacher and friend over the past 2 years, and I want to thank you, Nancy, for all that you've done in educating me as well, and for everything you've done for our community all these years. Thank you.
I think by this point, so much has been said, but I served with both of you on the City Council for 4 years and 4.5 years with Nancy. And I would just say that it has been an absolute pleasure to serve with both of you. You both have led with such generosity and grace, and that's very nice to see on a City Council. And I've learned an awful amount from both of you. And Nancy, sometimes I don't know where you're going when you start an argument, but when you finish it, it is always brilliant. So thank you for that. And Jim, thank you for all of the counsel behind the scenes on various complex issues. So I will miss both of you, and I wish you both well.
Thank you. I will open up the public comment. We have a few gifts and thank yous for you, but before that, we'll open it for public comment. Should there be any? Or Mayor Campbell?
Thank you, Mayor Mark. So I know this is a big evening, so I just wanted to quickly say what a supreme pleasure and privilege it was to work with both of you. Belvedere is the place it is because of the work you guys have done both on the Planning Commission and on the City Council. And I can't count the number of times when my mind was changed by your well-reasoned and persuasive arguments up on the dais. And you showed me truly what it's like to be part of a team. And you can go in thinking you know what you're going to do, and then someone smarter tells you why they're thinking what they're thinking. And it really makes this whole process work. So thank you both so much.
Well, I just want to say that
you are leaving with some big shoes to fill. And I'll never fill Nancy's tall shoes. And it'll be hard to fill Jim's shoes. I worked with Jim on the Planning Commission for many years and respect exactly what James says. He's very balanced and listens and is influential. He convinced me early on as a young planning commissioner that I was going to vote against a project, and he reminded me that the most important thing a planning commissioner can do is to approve a good design. And so I decided to vote for the plan because Silver Tongue Planning Commissioner Lynch convinced me, and he did it many times. And I want to thank Nancy. I've never served with you, but I have respected you over the years, and you've done a lot for the city. And I want to thank both of your spouses and partners because I know they couldn't do it without their help. So thank you very much.
Thank you so much. Madam Clerk.
Yes, we have Brad Gross.
Thank you. Brad, go ahead.
Thank you. Good evening, Mr. Mayor, council members. My name is Brad Gross, and I'm the Executive Director of the Richardson Bay Regional Agency. And as you all know, since Council Member Lynch decided not to run again for a council seat, his role as the RBRA chairman expires with his term. And I wanted to take an opportunity to quickly recognize and celebrate all of Council Member Lynch's accomplishments at RBRA. Council Member Lynch has been on the RBRA board for 2 years, serving for the last year and a half as our board chair. During his tenure, the RBRA recorded numerous noticeable achievements. Those efforts include securing $3 million in state grant funding alongside Senator McGuire to launch an innovative housing voucher program. That initiative allows voters previously living on the water to move into safe and secure housing on land. And since the program was launched, 17 individuals living on the water have been housed. The RBRA board also approved a vessel buyback program, which offers eligible participants money based on the length of their boat if they turn their vessel into RBRA for proper disposal. Many enrollees in this housing voucher program also participated in the vessel buyback initiative, allowing them to have additional funds as they navigate back to life on the land. As a result of those various actions, the RBRA has seen the number of boaters illegally anchored in Richardson Bay drop from more than 200 several years ago to less than 20 today. Additionally, the RBRA board oversaw the implementation of a new eelgrass protection zone, an area of water off limits to anchoring that will help restore and protect a critical ecological component of the bay. One of RBRA's greatest accomplishments during his tenure has been the planting of over 6 acres of eelgrass in Richardson Bay on our way to the ultimate 15-acre restoration. We are incredibly grateful for the service of Councilmember Lynch. He's been an invaluable member of the RBRA board, and we wish him the best of luck in his future endeavors. Thank you very much for your time.
Thank you, Brad. We all share your sentiments.
There are no other hands raised.
Thank you so much. We now have we have a proclamation for each of you from our county supervisor. I'll present that. And we have a plaque for each of them, correct? As well as some other gifts.
Yeah.
Do I present that? Do you want to present it, Robert, or what would you prefer?
I think since you're up there, feel free to.
Jim? Congratulations. And we will move on to item 3D now, which is I'm leaving. So that's me saying goodbye. And
No, you're not.
no. Well, it's on the agenda, right? So presentation, outgoing mayor, and remarks by council members. So I'll turn it over to our city manager to lead this, I guess, or to.
Yes, thank you. I think it's an item as it states, for the council members. If they have any comments they'd like to state about the mayor's tenure or any appreciation, please do that now. Thank you.
I enjoy doing it, and thank you very much.
May I, I'm sorry, please.
Go ahead.
I was going to say, Mayor Mark, be careful on evenings like this. You may get the sense, as I have, that they're very glad to see you go. But in your case, that's not true. I just want to comment. I know this is a long evening, but just very briefly, I think we served together for about 9 years, combination of Planning Commission and City Council. And in each of those instances, I think I chaired the Planning Commission the year before you did, and was mayor here the year before you were. And I so wish each time it had been inverted, because I sit there and watch. I'm like, oh, that's how you do it? No one told me. The standard that you have set is so remarkable. The incandescent intellect to study issues, the patience to peel them apart, truly the patience to just sit with an issue and beat on it and peel it apart, trying to find the solution to some intractable barrier is so unusual, together with the intellect. And then what I think of as the grace that you bring to this job and the patience that you bring to how we deal with one another. You also have a creativity beyond the studying and beyond the patience. You always take, when no one else can figure it out, even you take the problem, we're all studying it, and you turn it on an angle and you look at it from a different perspective. And you have unlocked more intractable problems in the years that we've worked together than I can number. And it's truly, truly remarkable and a privilege to work with you. And you've done it so elegantly. So thank you.
So, Mayor Mark, I've served with eight mayors over the years, and your style and your analysis have served us so well in dealing with some very, very difficult issues this year, and actually throughout my entire time with you on council. The way you approach a problem, as Council Member Lynch has mentioned, is really, really unusual in that I've seen so many times you're using both halves of your brain, the analytical side and the innovative side. And so many of the issues that we face and work through on behalf of the people of Belvedere really require both right brain and left brain. And as Council Member Lynch said, the patience to really bring those two aspects of analysis together. These are often difficult issues on which members of the community disagree. Sometimes we have to pick one side, but so often we find a compromise. And this year, in your term as mayor, I think you have just absolutely excelled at that particular talent and skill. And I just want to say what a pleasure it has been to serve with you.
Peter, again, I think so much has already been said, so I don't want to repeat what everyone said, but again, it's been, we've partnered on a lot of projects in the last year or two while you've been serving and as mayor, and it's always been a pleasure working with you, and it's been a very smooth year, much due to your leadership, so thank you so much.
So under Peter's leadership this year, we've really accomplished a lot for such a small community. I wanted to just name a couple of examples. We adopted and are in the middle of a major multifamily housing project. We adopted a new construction time limit policy, which was enormous. And we've hopefully the third and final housing element was submitted this month. There were, as everyone noted, there were many, many everyday decisions that Peter made that helped our community that it's too many to count. Peter, you always listened to the residents and gave thoughtful advice. You encouraged each of us council members to have an equal voice. And without presuming, I hope I can continue to rely on you and your many skills when I take over. So thank you for your year of superb leadership. And with that, I'd like to give you your own mallet because you love it so much. So.
Thank you. Thank you all so much. I guess I need to open public forum. I'd rather not, but I will open public forum. Don't see anybody, so that's wonderful.
Mayor Mark, I see no hands raised.
Thank you. Moving on to what we ask one more thing of our departing council members. We need to adopt a resolution for studying the facts of the last general municipal election and declare the election results. So can we have a staff report, please?
Thank you, Mayor Mark and council members. Before you is a resolution reciting the facts of the general municipal election held on November 5th, 2024, declaring the election results. The Marin County Elections Department has certified the results for the consolidated election, which are listed in the resolution. Voters re-elected Sally Wilkinson, and we welcome Pat Carabiet and Kevin Burke. Staff recommends that City Council adopt Resolution 2024-39 as presented.
Thank you. Do we have any, sorry, I'll open up for public comment. Do not see any.
I see no hands raised.
Thank you. Do we have any discussions or would we like to make a motion to adopt the resolution as our city clerk described?
I can make the motion.
Thank you.
I second that.
All in favor?
Aye.
Thank you. So we will now reorganize and say goodbye to our two cherished council members. And so now we will proceed with the swearing in of our two new council members, and I'll turn that over to our city manager and our city clerk.
To swear in Sally. So Sally,
Oh.
would you please come around?
Okay.
And I'll still speak until I turn it over to you.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Sally A. Wilkinson,
I, Sally A. Wilkinson,
I swear
solemnly swear
and defend
and defend the
the Constitution of the United States
United States
and the Constitution of the State of California
of the State of California
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
is foreign and domestic,
bear true faith and allegiance
true faith and allegiance
to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California,
of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California,
obligation freely,
obligation freely,
without any mental reservation,
reservation,
evasion,
vision,
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
faithfully discharge
which I am about to enter.
I'm about to enter.
Please raise your right hand and repeat after me. I, Pat Carapiet,
Yet,
swear,
I solemnly swear,
defend
support and defend
the United States
the Constitution of the United States,
and of the state of California,
Constitution of the State of California,
foreign and domestic,
enemies foreign and domestic,
faith and allegiance
true faith and allegiance
of the United States and the Constitution of the state of California,
Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California.
obligation freely,
This obligation freely,
reservation,
without any mental reservations
vision,
of evasion,
faithfully discharge
well and faithfully discharge,
I am about to enter.
which I'm about to enter.
Me, I, Kevin Burke,
I, Kevin Burke,
swear
do hereby solemnly swear that I will support and defend
the United States,
the Constitution of the United States,
of the state of California,
the Constitution of the State of California,
enemies foreign and domestic,
against all enemies, foreign and domestic,
faith and allegiance
that I will bear true faith and allegiance to
of the United States and the Constitution of the state of California,
the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California,
freely,
that I take this obligation freely,
reservation,
without any mental reservations or purpose of evasion,
faithfully discharge
and that I will well and faithfully discharge
which I am about to enter.
the duties upon which I'm about to enter.
Let's, so come on up. Let's, swap over here. We'll do it now. Make life easier.
One more.
Thank you, Beth. Thank you for that swearing in process. I jumped ahead and moved our seats, so I'll turn this over after our nominations as we reorganize. We will now move on to item 5A, which is the election of our mayor for 2025. And I would like to, if I can, make this nomination. I've worked with Jane early on with housing and the construction impact committee, and we've always had a wonderful shorthand that I've always appreciated, and I'm looking forward to this year. I would like to proudly nominate and enthusiastically nominate Jane Cooper as our mayor for 2025.
Second,
Thank you. All in favor?
I.
Aye. Congratulations.
This is the hardest part.
Let's do that. Okay.
Well done.
Oh,
Thank you, Peter.
so you take over now.
Okay, there's, the last couple of mayors, there was sort of an inside joke where it was put on the opposite direction. But I told Peter I'd kill him if he did that to me, so. So fortunately, he listened. I just want to quickly thank everyone for the honor and trust that you're placing in me. I'm committed to preserving what makes our city so special and to working collaboratively with the entire community and of course with my fellow council members for any challenges that are ahead. I'm grateful for this opportunity to serve as Belvedere's mayor. So thank you, everyone. And I'm going to just jump in and I would like to nominate Sally Wilkinson for the position of vice mayor. So can I have a
Second.
motion?
Yep.
Oh, second?
Second. 2
Okay.
seconds.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Was,
Oh, oops.
I apologize to
Oh.
interrupt. I know we're trying to move very efficiently, but we do need to take public comment on 5A and 5B.
Okay. Is
And we can
there
take-
any?
We can
pub-
take public comment together.
Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
Do we have any public comment on mayor or vice mayor positions? Seeing none here.
Mayor Cooper, there are no hands raised.
Thank you. Okay, once again, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Okay, well, congratulations, Sally. So happy to have you.
Thank you.
Okay, so on we go to the consent calendar. The consent calendar consists of items that the city council considers to be routine or council has discussed previously in another meeting and do not require further discussion. Unless any item is specifically removed by any member of the city council, the consent calendar will be adopted in one motion. Council will take public comment on all items on the consent calendar when the calendar is called, which is now. So does anyone care to pull an item or have a question about anything on the consent calendar? I actually have a question on 6C. And 6C is the motion to approve the allocation of fiscal year 2023-24 excess reserves. My question, Robert, is what amount do we currently have in our Beach Road project, amount of funding?
Currently, we've got, Helga can get the exact
Oh.
number, around
Approximately.
around 1.7 million is what I recall.
Okay.
Without the transfer,
Yeah, prior to the transfer.
correct.
And I know there was a good discussion about the number of years and the amount we will need. Do you have any other additional information you wanted to add for this?
No, I appreciate the question. I think it'd be worth clarifying. The staff report does mention the seawall funding as a priority. And the action item for council is to approve the recommendation that the finance committee made to direct the excess reserves to the critical infrastructure fund. I'll just add that the repair project is estimated to cost upwards of $3 million. Given the state of the seawall structure, it's important that we fully fund the project within the next 1.5 to 2 years. Also, there's still the possibility that we may be awarded a significant grant from FEMA for the larger seawall and seismic upgrade. Selected, there will be a requirement for Belvedere to match those funds with our own dollars. We'll have to come up with 30% of Belvedere dollars to fund the entire project costs. The staff report did not specifically address these circumstances, so I just, again, wanted to give the opportunity and thank you for giving me the opportunity for clarifying that.
Thank you. It's obviously a really high priority, the Beach Road issues over there. So, okay, do we have any questions from the audience or comments? Anything on Zoom?
There are no hands raised.
Okay. In that case, can I have a motion to approve the consent calendar?
So
Item
moved.
6A, sorry.
So moved.
Second, please.
Second, okay, all in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Thank
Aye.
you, the motion passes. Okay, we're down to our public hearings and item 7A is to consider and approve amending the city's master schedule of fees, charges, and application fees. Robert, did you want to do this or is? Helga?
Yeah, our Administrative Services Director Helga will be taking this one.
Thank you.
Mayor Mark, or sorry, Mayor
That's okay.
Cooper.
It'll take a while for all of
Council
us.
members, sorry. In your packet this evening is a resolution approving changes to the city's master fee schedule for the planning department only. The city maintains and publishes the master fee schedule, which provides for various fees to be charged for local government services. The following amendments are recommended for your consideration. In the planning section, we propose updating the city attorney's fee for legal services related to cost recovery. This update reflects the new rate of $385 per hour, which was increased from the $375 as part of the contract amendment for the Rennie Public Law Group approved during the council meeting on November 12, 2024. There is no significant fiscal impact to the city anticipated as a result of these changes to the fee schedule. The new fee schedule would take effect in 60 days or February 7th of 2025 if approved this evening. So with that, I'd be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you. Does anyone have any questions about
No.
this item?
Helga, just to clarify, a more significant change in our fee schedule, particularly user fees, is coming. The presentation of that will come into early next year when the study is complete. Is that correct?
That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Is there any public comment on this item? Anything on Zoom?
Mayor Cooper, I see none.
Thank you. In that case, can I have a motion to approve resolution number 2024-40?
So moved.
Second,
Second.
all those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Motion carries. Okay, moving on to item 8A, where we will be discussing and appointing council members to our city committees and regional boards. As you heard, listening to all the accolades about Nancy and Jim and Peter, we don't just sit on this council. We have many obligations throughout the city and the county, which we all enjoy serving on. It adds to what we're doing, and it gives us a lot of information and opportunity to meet different council members. So tonight we'll be going through and assigning or asking for our new council people to join in. Councilmember Wilkinson and Councilmember Mark and I are pretty much keeping where we have been in the last year or two. And if that's correct, is that correct? And so I would like to ask Councilmember Burke if he would like to take over the Historic Preservation Committee for next year. And I would like to ask Councilmember Carapiet if she'd be interested in doing the Belvedere Traffic and Circulation Committee. These are our local Belvedere agencies.
Sure.
And Kevin, is that okay with you?
Yeah.
Okay. Next are some committees that serve the entire Tiburon Peninsula. So on the Joint Recreation Committee right now, we have Councilmember Wilkinson. And I know we don't normally have an alternate there, but perhaps you'd like to have an alternate this year so that if a change occurs partway through the year, we'd have someone ready. Would that work for you? Or would you like to commit to the whole year for this, the ranch?
I mean, we can certainly install an alternate. My intention with the ranch is to hand that off to somebody at some point in time, but we've got a project that I'd like to finish first. And so if you think assigning an alternate makes sense, we can certainly do that.
Do you think that your what you'll be working on will be finished before the end of next year? This 25?
Yes.
Okay, So I was thinking of asking Councilmember Carapiet if she would like to be the alternate for the ranch, which is the joint. Okay, great. And I served on the library agency for 2 years. And I was hoping that Councilmember Burke would be interested in taking that on.
I could take that on. I just want to be transparent that I will not be able to attend all 12. No, I think there are 13 meetings, just given the
Not
schedule.
13. I think there's
12.
11, maybe 11, or 10 or 11 meetings in the year. Well, I could be your alternate if you'd like. And then if you can't be there, although it's, we're not voting on that committee, so it's, it's
Sure. Yeah, I mean, with that
ceremonial.
understanding that I would miss a handful of meetings, I'd be happy to do it.
Okay, that sounds fine. And then we will also keep Dr. Cromwell on as our council representative to the Joint Disaster Advisory Council. And Bob McCaskill, along with Councilmember Wilkinson, will remain with the Tiburon Peninsula Traffic Relief Authority, which oversees the Yellow Bus program. Next, we need to assign people to the Marin and state agencies. As you heard, ex-councilmember Lynch served in quite a leadership role. Oh, oops, I'm on the wrong one. Sorry. Councilmember Chemnitzer served in a fabulous role on the Bay Wave Sea Level Rise Committee. And is there anyone who's particularly interested in that, or would you like me to choose? I know it's hard when you don't know too much about it. Maybe Councilmember Burke. I was thinking that you might find the Sea Level Rise Committee.
I would be happy to cover that one.
Okay. It says meetings are as needed. So I guess you'll have to find out I don't know what the next, I think they're in the middle of a transition.
Yeah, I mean, what research I could do online, it was unclear. And is this the policy committee or the executive committee? I think there's
I
two
think
different committees.
it's described as a steering committee,
Okay,
but
More
we'll
to
find
come.
out, or someone will get in touch with you, I'm sure.
sure. Okay.
We have Marin Clean Energy and Councilmember Wilkinson as remaining there. Is that a committee that needs an alternate for voting purposes, or do you have enough people on that committee that you don't?
No,
Rely on one.
it's a very interesting committee because it's a agency that has 37 board members. And so they often struggle with quorum. And so they very strongly encourage us to have alternates. And when we cannot attend, they do rely on alternates. So it is an important position. It's an important agency. They meet at the moment monthly. They're moving down to quarterly, but I also sit on their executive committee, which meets monthly. So it's a heavy position, and I would certainly want the alternate to attend both ExCom meetings and board meetings if I couldn't attend. And I'd love to see Councilmember Burke be the alternate for that if possible. It's got a lot of financial components to it. It's essentially a financial intermediary, and I think he would be a good fit for that.
Great. How does that sound to you?
How could I refuse that?
I agree. How could you? Okay, there's the Marin Priority Setting Committee, which Councilmember Mark will remain on. And then we get to RBRA, the Richardson Bay Regional Agency that ex-Councilmember Lynch was leading for quite a while. And I was hoping that Councilmember Carapiet would be willing to take this over from Jim Lynch.
Sure.
Okay, great. Councilmember Mark will remain the lead assigned for the Transportation Authority of Marin. And that requires an alternate, I think.
I
Or
believe
not?
it does.
Okay.
I was the alternate to Councilmember Kivitzer the last 2 years and didn't need to do anything with her involvement. So I don't know the degree to which an alternate is required. But we should probably assign one, and it doesn't seem to be much work because I certainly didn't do much work with all of her hard work there.
Okay.
So I'll take whatever volunteer wishes to be an alternate there.
Is there an issue with, do they have meetings in the summer?
I believe so, yes.
Okay, so
There is a quorum requirement.
if there's a quorum
yeah,
meet, okay. Anyone have a big interest in transportation? Pat,
I'll do it if Kevin doesn't want to do it.
Why don't we go through the rest? I mean,
Okay.
because we'll see what it's hard to know until we know what the plate looks like in full.
Okay, I think, okay, good idea. Actually, the League of California Cities, I'm happy to take that one. Association of Bay River Governments, the mayor does that, so I will take that one. And I'm going to ask if the vice mayor would be the alternate, but it's an annual meeting, so I would say being alternate there is very easy. MCCMC Legislative Committee requires a voting member, and I can take that one on unless someone else wants it. And then the MCCMC Mayor's Select Committee, I don't have a choice. I'm doing that one. So actually, the alternate for the TAM agency is the only missing. And as I said, it is the alternate. So
Who's the alternate on RBRA? I missed that.
oh, I'm sorry, we don't have an alternate there. You're right.
I was
do
the
you-
alternate. I was the
You
alternate
were,
to Councilmember
yeah.
Lynch. I'm happy to remain that.
Okay, so Councilmember Mark will remain the alternate for RBRA.
And if
You can't be your own
no,
alternate.
I'm saying it, but if Pat wants to
Sure.
swap that with TAM, that would be a good. I'll be alternate for RBRI. You can be my alternate for TAM.
Sure, whatever.
Okay, great. Okay. Then I think we have all the positions filled. One of the tougher things we have to do as we get new members coming on the council. So thank you all for being so willing to sit on all these different committees that we have. You probably won't believe it, but this list has been pared down. So I'm also grateful that we were able to pare this list down. So that works out great. Do I do a public comment on this item? Oh,
I just had a general comment. I think I propose that maybe next September, we bring to the agenda a discussion around the process on how we do this, because it's a little unclear to me if there is a process or if it's something that we should codify at some point, just in terms of, if you're already on a committee, do you automatically get to choose yourself if you're staying on that committee, or should it all be put up for discussion and sort of grab, if you will, every year? Or is there a benefit to have people serve multiple years? So it just would be, I think, useful to have a conversation around that process.
I think that's a great idea. Yeah, great idea. Thank you for bringing that up. Okay, is there any comment from the audience? Anything on Zoom?
I see none.
All right, in that case, can I have a motion?
I can make a motion. Do you have those notes, or do you want me to read them for the record?
Or do we need a motion on this?
Yeah, Mayor Cooper, we should take a motion on it, but
Okay.
I think the staff has good notes.
Okay.
So I think you just simply.
I would move that the City Council Committee assignments revised in December 2025 be approved as noted in this conversation.
Second?
All in favor?
Aye.
The motion carries. Okay. Our last item for this evening is to approve the nominations for from the Citizen of the Year Committee. I don't know if anyone has anything they'd like to bring up about that on the council members. If not, oh, go ahead.
Yeah, I'd just like to comment that this is the second time I've joined the Citizen of the Year committee. I came last year as well. And I have to say, it's a wonderful experience. So much commitment to the community, and I applaud not only their past contributions, but their choices this year. And I would wholeheartedly endorse and recommend and approve their recommendation.
Thank you. Anyone else have anything to say?
I agree with Council Member Mark. I think it's a terrific choice. I think the Citizen of the Year, the couple has given a lot to this city over many, many years. And I believe that Marcia Felton, the quiet force behind Roger Felton, has quietly served this community for well over 34 years. And I think it's well recognized awards for both of them.
Thank you. And I would also like to thank the committee for all the work that they do every year in determining this wonderful honor. And certainly, I think we've said over and over again that the Belvedere couldn't function without all the fabulous volunteers that we have who are willing to step up. And these three devoted volunteers certainly epitomize the point of this honor and why we're so happy to have them be honored in this way. So does anyone from the audience have a comment? Yes.
I just wanted to say that we will be honoring them in person.
Oh,
PD, if you could come up here. I'm sorry, it's just hard to hear.
I neglected to say that you will, if you approve the candidates, we will be honoring them in person at the annual meeting on January 20th. Is that right?
30th.
30th, January 30th, 2025.
Thank you. Yes, well, obviously everyone's welcome and we encourage everyone to come. Is there anything on Zoom?
I see none.
Okay, thank you. Therefore, can I have a motion to approve the decision of the Citizen of the Year, decisions of the Citizen of the Year Committee on the nominations for the 2024 Citizens of the Year and Citizen Emeritus? All those in favor?
I'll make a motion.
Shoot.
I'll second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
I was trying to make it through without a mistake, but oh well. Okay, so now we're down to item 9, which is the open forum. This is an opportunity for any member of the public to briefly address the city council on any matter that does not appear on this agenda, but that is within the city council's subject matter jurisdiction. Upon being recognized by the mayor, please limit your oral statement to no more than 3 minutes. Under the Brown Act, council members may not deliberate or take action on items that are not on tonight's agenda. Matters that may warrant a more lengthy presentation or council consideration may be placed on the agenda for further discussion at a later meeting. Is there anyone here tonight that would like to speak on something not on the agenda? Okay, seeing nothing.
Mayor
none?
Cooper, there are no hands raised.
Okay, great. Then in that case, I would like to adjourn the meeting and thank you everyone for attending. Not bad, 7:30.